Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Catch the Fuck Up. I'm Fern,
And I'm Nicole.
and we are talking about chapter number 353, the title of which is Endeavor. I'm pretty sure it's just on that first title page. It's not anywhere else, and I'm not used to that. And I was like searching for it and could not fucking find it. So,
yes. And when I saw the title, I was like, fuck, it's going to be about Endeavor. But no, it's not.
It's about everyone but Endeavor up until the very end. So.
Yes. Also, I do have to say that I was correct in what we were getting this week, when we were talking about it last week. So I've been doing a little victory dance in my head. But
yes, Horikoshi was not as cruel as I thought he was going to be.
Which, thank you, sir. We shall knock on wood. Hopefully the lower level of cruelty continues, maybe.
Yes, I just baseline cruelty.
Yes.
Don't go to extremes, Horikoshi, please.
All right. So to dive right in, you open the chapter and the first page is a full color cover shot of what may be like the next volume or may not be. I don't know. But it is our boy Shoto. And he's doing his cold flame across his chest like we saw last week.
Yes, and you can see that it's not just fire, it's like both fire and ice. Coldness, whatever.
I love it so much. Oh, okay. All right. So you turn the page and we dive right back into where we left off last week. So that is Shoto has defeated Dabi, like he's down for the count, and he's just holding him as everything kind of cools down, warms up, whatever you want to say. So you keep reading, and Burden is alive.
Yes, thank she's God. Okay. Oh man, I was like seriously so worried.
Thank goodness. All right. We don't know about the other two. We just know that Burden is alive because she's the one that like announces to everyone that Dabi is down. So we proceed through the chapter, and it turns out there are actually still a lot of heroes around Camino, still fighting, still going.
They were just hiding. They were being sneaky.
Yeah, they were out of the way so they didn't get burned and or frozen. So with Burden's announcement, the heroes get like the second wind. They're like, okay, we got to keep going. We're going to do this. And they have to like beat just one more giant fucking Nomu who also survived Dabi's volcano blast, whatever.
Yes. And it's one fucking horrifying looking. Sorry, I just had to mention that.
No, yes, you're correct. It's very not fun looking. He's got his brain and he's got like horns coming out of his rib cage. It's not fun. There is a panel in the top left that's basically showing Shoto using his support gear to come back down to a good temperature.
Yes.
And Dabi is on the ground, still next to him. At this point, we don't know his status, but we will learn it by the end of the chapter, but we will get there. And
I'm like sitting on it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh no. And one of the heroes, I don't know if this is the name they're all using, but one of them calls Dabi the Blue Flame. And I'm just like, there are so many other better names that could have been chosen.
I get it. It's fine.
It is on the nose and accurate, but also it's like too on the nose. Anyway, not the point.
Yeah, not the point.
We can complain about it later. So all the other heroes at Camino just kind of fall in against the Nomu, and the fight continues there. But Shoto, for the moment, is just like sitting and like recovering and like sitting in the fact that he defeated his brother, which like it's got to be tough. All right.
Yes,
so
as he deserves, he needs a little break.
Yes, my poor son. All right. So from here, rather than continuing and showing like the full resolution of Camino, we do actually start jumping back and forth with some of the other fights.
Yes.
So from here, we go kind of back to the general's room where Toshi and Tsukauchi are. Like, they're the ones watching everything and giving the commands and passing along all the news. And we also get like a little more information of who's where, but also I don't know who they're talking about or where they are. It's still very confusing, at least for this page. So like there's military strategizing going on, but also I don't know who is doing what, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. The main point of this panel though, or this page, is that Toshi is like sad for Shoto, and he calls him, well, in the manga, he calls him Todoroki Kid, but in the dub, he always calls them young Todoroki, young Shoto. And he's
like, he's
tears.
so proud, but he's so sad. And he's just like relieved, I'm sure. Cause he's like, oh God, this child is basically like my baby. What if he dies? Like,
So, and also he's sad because he just beat his brother. And he knows that was hard for him because he is a good teacher and he does care about his students, especially now.
Oh God!
With all the shit they've been through, so he's sad, and he like regains himself. He like continues to be like the voice for all the heroes, the encouragement, the figurehead thing. Also, Tsukauchi does like pat him on the back, comforts him, but I'm still mad at him about everything. So
Tsukauchi, I think he's like permanently on our shit list.
yes, like no matter what good he does, unless it's something really big. All right, so next page, we are jumping to another fight site, which turns out there was more than we thought there were, and it's not confusing at all. All right.
Yeah, there's so many.
So before we got here, there was the four. There was Sky High, there was the Toga fight at the aquarium, there was Dabi's fight, and there was AFO's fight. Now find out there's a fifth one at least, and this is
which honestly we should have probably remembered, because they split them up into a whole bunch of different little like those like metal like traps that they put them in. There were a whole bunch of those, so I'm assuming how many of those there were is how many fights there are.
Yeah, that makes sense now, but in the moment, I think they were just trying to like scoop everybody and like send them to the four, but that's not what happens. Just like Fern said, it looks like for every trap there was, they went to a different location.
Yeah, exactly.
Presumably. All right, so this location is Jaku Hospital Ruins, and this is where Gigantomachia is being held. And first thing I fucking noticed, first thing I noticed is Mina is there. Yay, yes! Mina!
And they put her with fucking Mineta. Like, why would they do that?
Because they haven't just murdered Mineta yet, even though they need to. Anyway, we're not gonna look at him right now. I'm even, aside from Mineta, I'm even more pissed that the fucking sludge villain is there.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, I was like, I know that's like creating some sort of emotional response, but like it was like, it's just the recall wasn't there. But you're right, that's the freaking sludge villain.
That's probably the sludge monster from all the way at the beginning, and we knew that he was one of the escapees at some point, like before this war started. Like he was in one of the panels, but he's there, and I hope Mina just melts him, because acid can melt sludge, I guess.
Yes,
I don't know.
In our brains it can.
Yes. So presumably the villains that are here, actually there were some that were already there that were going to break Gigantomachia out while AFO is dealing with Deku.
So they basically brought the fight to them.
Yes, like they knew they were going to be there, so they're like, okay, we're going to send more people there. Great, it's a fight. So Mina is there with the Great Bitch and a couple of the 1B students.
And also, I think Sero.
No, that's not Sero. That's Mudman. Sero is the other one.
Why we see Sero so similar?
I know, it's terrible. All right, that's Mudman.
It's so confusing, and I can't keep track of who's where.
All right, so Mina is there. Yeah, that's Mudman, and then the baseball girl, and I don't remember all of 1B's quirks still, but that's not Sero. Sero's at the other one. Anyway.
Okay.
You turn the page, and also Mount Lady is there. Great, awesome. She's going to hopefully do something with Gigantomachia if needed, even though it wasn't going so well for her the last time.
Yeah, but you know what? She rallied it together, and she's ready to fight.
Yeah, she's ready to go. She's like, All right. So there's a lot of dialogue on this page. Basically, one of these villains is like the main spokesperson, I guess. He's just
another freaking villain monologue.
he's basically providing exposition to this fight's like context. And essentially they were there to break out Gigantomachia while AFO was with Deku, and then the flipperoo happened. So now they're fighting. And he has his like metaphorical symbolic speech, and it turns out that he seems to be the one who killed Midnight. So
ooh, I was not expecting that to come back like that. I was not emotionally prepared.
I was thinking, because she had that connection with Momo, but she also had the connection with Mina. And while he's talking, Mina hears him and she's like,
she's like, okay, target sighted.
Yep.
Basically, she just locks onto him.
Yep. And also in that moment, Kirishima shows up.
Sweet boy. Hello.
Kirishima. All right. I don't know where he was before, or
I
if
can't
he was
remember.
Always there. It seemed he says, sorry, I'm late.
Yeah,
so,
he was somewhere else, but for the life of me, I can't remember where he was.
Yeah, we don't know where he was. We don't remember. Maybe he was doing something for this fight, or maybe he was at another fight and he got sent to Mina's. I don't know.
Yeah, he said the escort mission's done, and I don't remember what the escort mission is. So
I don't even remember if we've seen the escort mission. So hopefully there will be clarity at some point. But
yeah, there's just far too much going on.
Yeah. So Kiri is there, and he's like, Shoto did so good. He's such a man, and now we got to hold this defensive
he showed
line.
everyone what a duty is.
Yes.
It's just like it's such a Kiri line. I love it so much.
Yep, and he's pumped up and he's ready to go, and he is there to bolster Mina, because since the first war, like he and Mina have had this friendship and like this partnership of like kind of beside Gigantomachia, which goes all the way back to Kiri's backstory when they saw him and Mina chased him off.
Yeah, so this is like the culmination of their backstory.
Yes, and it's great, and they're awesome. And then you turn the page, and instead of staying there, we go to another check-in, which is like another fight we didn't know like what was happening, and it's called the National Takoba Arena. Apologies for pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. That means nothing to me.
I think it's just another fight happening.
I'm sure these are all happening at very like plot specific locations, but fuck me if I remember.
Yeah, no, this rings no bells for me either. So you're good. And at this site, we have at least Sato, Ojiro, and then another dude like in the back. Oh, I think that's Subaraba, because I can see his eyes and his cheeks are puffed up. So the solid air kid, maybe. I don't know. It's very low quality. And also this is where Sero is.
There we go.
for the Sararoki shippers, he like has this moment of silence when they're talking about Shoto, and it's just like, he loves his boyfriend. All right. And then we get another update back at fucking Sky High. And it's Bakugo. It's my son. He's still doing good. He's still fighting. He's got this smile. And he calls Todoroki by his name. And I am screaming in my heart.
Also, you know what really hit me in this moment? So you know how All Might's thing is like saving people with a smile?
Oh, he's smiling.
I was going to say, you know who's actually constantly freaking smiling on his missions? Bakugo.
He is.
Like he's not doing it with the same inflection, but he's a smiley, smirky boy.
Yeah, he's
whenever he gets to fight anyway.
He's got this smile that's also like a snarl, which is not what All Might really meant. But yeah, he's always smiling, and he's proud of his friend and partner, and I'm so proud of him.
I know.
And then you turn the page again, and we go back to another fight. This one we kind of knew was going on, but we didn't know it was going to be like a continuing fight. At least I didn't think so. So it is back where, I guess, like at the parking lot or parking deck where it all started before they got warped everywhere, and some like villain lieutenant has been left there.
Yes.
like they're considered the dregs. They're all getting cleaned up. And this is where we see Fck and Yuga are still there, still fighting. Awesome.
Yes. Oh,
right.
I'm still so glad that he got put with Fck. Like that's a good one.
That's a good pair up. He needs dadgum. All right.
Yes, he needs dadgum.
All right. So this new villain who is brand new, I don't recognize them.
I know, which sucks because he's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he's like new for the war, but like, yeah, he's got a cool costume and it looks like he's got a cool power. It looks like it's some sort of plant manipulation. Yeah. And if you look closer, folks who are a lot more familiar with like anime and anime symbolism are going to see this flower. That's like the flower that means like death and rebirth. I think it's the same flower that was with the Toga like promotional arc that everybody was freaking out about because it does symbolize death, which makes me worried. Yes, for Fck and for Yuga, but maybe that's just like his quirk. Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say he goes on his own monologue and it's very like poetical and there's all these references, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's like just his quirk.
Yeah. And so, and maybe he like leans into that symbolism that we as Western viewers don't fully comprehend or can internalize fine, because he's like you said, he's poetical. He's like going on this death monologue nonsense. So you turn the page and he keeps talking, and it turns out he's talking to Yuga, but also Fck is there trying to like break the tension. He's like, "You're some kind of alien. What? We're all humans here."
Yeah,
very nice.
What do you mean this planet? Is this not your planet? Like,
yeah, he's like, "Calm down, sir."
Basically.
All right. So you continue through. Again, it's a rather like dialogue heavy chapter, especially from what we've seen. So you have to read a little slower. So that as this guy talks, it turns out that he mentions a dictator who was one of the Liberation Front's like lieutenants, the one who can talk and make people do things. So he was like the rank under them. Like he was like dictator second, I guess. Maybe. And he's just talking about that. And then he's talking about Yuga. And he's like, "I'm going to get you, Aoyama, and like come into AFO's favor as one of his assassins." And he calls him the Bat of Aesop, which I had to look up.
Yeah, once I actually understood that reference right away.
I did not. So I looked it up. I did know Aesop has like all the fables with the animals. So I got that as like, oh, he's like referring to one of the fables of morality. And like the one I found is like the bat is like the one with no friends. Like he can't choose a side between the birds and the land animals. And it's like, if you're
the birds and the beasts are having a fight and the bat stays neutral by lying. So
yes. And then I was looking at all these pages that are like, what's the moral of this story? And like, one of them is the deceitful have no friends. And like, obviously this guy has not even heard of Class 1A because
for real. Like, okay, sure. That's the narrative that you're going to try to place upon this child, but it's not accurate. So screw you.
Hell yeah.
Aesop lived a long ass time ago and not all of his points were correct.
Yes, exactly. All right. And then like you can see that Yuga's like scared and he's still like in that mindset of what can I do? But right before you turn the page, he says, "Merci." And he's like, "Bring it, bitch."
Yes, exactly. Yes. I was like, oh, good job, Yuga. You're like, oh, getting your legs under you.
Yes. And then you turn the page and things get bad.
Oh boy.
All right.
Here we go.
So in this, it's another fight. It's another location. And this is where Present Mike is. We don't know where he is, but this is like another fight. And Present Mike is like one of the big players there. And then right under Present Mike is a panel of Spinner, who we've been waiting for and who I was so glad to see until I realized that he's like on trigger or something because he's huge and pissed.
Enhanced, quote unquote. And I just, my brain went off on this whole thing about how like All For One just ruins everything he touches and he can't just let people be and he has to give them these quote unquote enhancements. And I just,
So in this moment, Yes, it is very upsetting. I think in this moment is where I kind of realized that we were kind of off track with where Spinner is. Like we thought Spinner was going to be leading this heteromorph secret like mission or whatever. And thankfully they knew where he was and they sent a fight to him. But I think our thinking that there was going to be like some secret heteromorph force wasn't entirely
that
correct.
He was going to be like a plot twist.
Yeah, I think he was just part of the larger multi-location fight, and all the other heteromorphs are also in these multiple locations, and like maybe they're going to go after the civilians, like was kind of foreshadowed before, but in this moment we don't know if that is still the case. All we know is that Spinner has been enhanced. It might be Trigger. It might be something AFO gave him to change his physical form. But what has happened essentially, and also Shoji is there.
Yes, which that also fucking broke my heart. Like, of course, poor Shoji is facing down like his fellow like heteromorphs. Like that fucking sucks. Oh man. But yeah, I think basically really the whole point of this chapter is that our side, the class 1A, All Might, everyone else side, like knew significantly more than they were letting on. And so we're finally realizing the full extent of their knowledge and plans. Yes,
they weren't as dumb as we had thought they were.
Yeah.
Good, but also
which, honestly, I still think our assumptions were fair.
Yes, they were. And maybe they will pan out. Maybe AFO does have something still up his sleeve, but we shall see, because we did not actually see all of the pieces in this chapter, which we will get to. But right here, Shoji is facing down Spinner, and he's like, he actually gets lines. He has dialogue, and he's like, Shoto did really good. It sucked that he had to do that. And then as he's stalking, he saves Koda, gets him out of the way of Spinner's giant knife sword thing.
I hate that thing so much.
I hate it, but I'm also glad he got one back, because that was like his favorite thing.
That's true. He really loved his giant pile of swords.
Yes, he did. All right. And then from here, we get more on where Spinner has been. And Spinner is fucking pissed that Dabi lost, because Dabi was like so powerful. He never had to like think about Dabi ever losing, because it seemed like it would never happen. And we get this flashback to like what they were doing in AFO's stupid bat cave, and Dabi was like, I don't need your like support or anything, but Spinner knows he did, because he's Spinner and he's great.
Well, like that's the whole thing, is that like Spinner's like, oh, I lacked conviction, I lacked power, therefore that's why I let AFO do whatever the fuck he did to me, because like AFO was manipulating him and telling him that he wasn't good enough, and Dabi didn't fall for it. And Spinner admired that about him. So he's just like really, really shocked that someone who had so much conviction and power lost. And he's like, well, then what the fuck did I do all that shit for?
Yeah. And he's just like really so very pissed that Dabi lost, and he's going to like avenge him, because again, Spinner is one of like the few members of the league who actually cares about what's going on with the others. Like,
right. So he's like, I actually gave a shit about you guys.
And so now he's pissed, and the force that he is leading, that does appear to be mostly heteromorphs, is like, he takes that rage and he's like, we are going to take back Kurogiri and destroy like the system that oppressed us, which like, yes, but also not quite.
Yes, but also you're definitely being manipulated by a dude who doesn't actually care about any of that. Exactly. And he's going to turn on you the second he can.
Yep, exactly. So we can assume that at this fight, they are at wherever Kurogiri is, and like Present Mike is outside, like defending him, but he's also defending Aizawa and Monoma, who I think are also still there.
Yeah, he's got some pretty key players in there that they've got to protect.
Yeah. Okay, I think, no, Monoma and Aizawa are at Sky High because they have to keep Shiggy down, but
that's right.
Yes, but Present Mike is now defending Kurogiri at wherever he is, which is really sweet, because all the
God, I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts real bad. So this is where Spinner is, and apparently he's going to be fighting against Shoji, which is great. We've all been waiting for Shoji to have like a bigger role, but also Shoji, my boy, he's like,
I know, my poor baby.
He's like, Shoto, I'm so proud to have been in your class, and I'm going to win this, like, to be on the same level as you, which is great.
Oh, so man, these children, they're killing me.
This chapter is also, there's like a lot going on.
There's so much going on. Oh my God, it's such a long chapter.
And it is like pretty straightforward. Like, we don't need to like think really much about it, but there's just a lot going on. So after we get this update of where Spinner is, we go back to Kamino, like the ground zero, and Ida is there. He comes back, and Shoto is like, your engine's stalled, right? Like, because it was so cold. And he says, sorry. And it's just like, oh, baby, honey. And Ida like assures him, like, you have nothing to apologize for. And he like sits with him and puts his arm around him and comforts him because it was his brother. And very sad. So you keep going, you keep reading, and it turns out Dabi is in fact still fucking alive somehow.
Thank God. Like, if only for Shoto's sake, like, thank God.
Yeah. So in this moment, he is not dead. He has not been killed by Shoto. He appears to just be unconscious once again.
Thankfully, because that's a lot of pain to be in.
Yeah. And also, like, there's one panel where you can kind of see what's going on, but then there's another panel that looks weird. It's like, I guess it's his face and it's all crusted over, but it's kind of hard to tell what's going on.
It kind of looks like part of his face, but then it kind of looks like it's been overlaid with scenery, and I'm thinking it's AFO can see Dabi in the distance and knows he's still alive.
That's exactly what it is, because you do turn the page and you go back to where AFO is. So AFO, and then there's the sparkle that the search quirk is, where you can see, and the sparkle represents a certain person. So yes, AFO can now see that Dabi is down. I thought when I first read it that Dabi opened one of his eyes, and I was like, oh shit, but no, you are fully correct. It is a transition from Dabi's body to the scenery around the Gunga mountain villa.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's supposed to be like some kind of abstract transition.
Yes, which will probably look a lot better in the anime. But
yeah, it's really hard to tell when everything is black and white.
Yeah, which is fine. It is a known limitation of the media.
So. Exactly.
All right, so after that moment, we do switch over to Gunga, which is the AFO fight where Endeavor and Hawks and several others are. And word does reach Endeavor, and he's got this look on his face that might make you think he cares, and also he might care, but also he's fucking Endeavor. So like,
yeah, again, he's on our permanent shit list, so it doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah. And then like along the same line as what I was thinking, AFO like goes right in for like the manipulation and and the barbs. So he's like, what does that face imply? Like, do you actually care? And then Hawks is there. Yay, Hawks. And he's like, here comes what we knew was coming. He's going to try to manipulate you, Endeavor. And
like, stop fucking falling for this, you idiot.
You idiot. You're a big dumb dummy who can't do codes or anything. And you freeze up the moment one of your kids is in danger, which is like the opposite of what you need to do. Anyway, so we continue. We turn to the next page, which is the last page. And AFO has his monologue. So many monologues.
So many. God, villains are so chatty.
And he's basically like doing the same thing that we have been like insulting Endeavor for, which sucks that we are like doing the same thing, but also it's like an easy manipulation to make. He's basically,
you know what though? Like, even the devil can quote scripture. Like, occasionally AFO makes half a point.
Yes. And I hate that we are making the same point. Like, I'm not even going to say I agree with him, but we are making the same point. Anyway, so he's basically like manipulating him, getting him angry. And he's like pointing out how he was a coward for making his son take care of his shit. And now he's here to like do revenge stuff like all the heroes do. And it's like, yes, but also no. Go sit down. You're a villain. Yeah. And the page ends with Endeavor and Hawks like ready to fight AFO. And then the last panel is like, now he's going to lose. Number one hero is going to lose. And in his hand, he has 5 different quirks going
Yep.
on each finger, which is gross, but also very threatening, very intimidating. Yes. And that is where the chapter ends. So
I hope Endeavor dies. I'm sorry. I'm like, is this foreshadowing? Is he finally gonna die?
Is he or thinking back to all the headcanons we had, is AFO going to take his quirk and leave him there? And I don't know.
That honestly is probably more poetic. I think I would like that better, especially because, like, I mean, we were just talking about how we don't want Toya to die because it would hurt Shoto. So
yeah, and like the same
I'm sure
thing
he probably
would
had
actually
pretty complicated feelings if his dad died.
Yes. It's like we want him to die, but also we want whatever is best for Shoto, and it's probably not his father dying, even though his father sucks. All right, so
yeah, I really hope he gets his quirk taken away. I think that would be
awesome,
very poetic.
Yes. All right, so again, chapter is done. It was a little longer than previous chapters, but the new chapter does come out again in 7 days. Thank God. Hopefully the rest of the chapters will come out every week, but we cannot be sure. So, all right, from here.
Oh goodness. I don't even know.
Well, we usually like end it by saying like what's going to happen next and like if we were right or not. So last time we were like, we're going to maybe get like these updates on all the other fights, which we did get. It just turns out we got more fights than we knew were happening. So.
Yeah, good Lord. Like I'm so overwhelmed that I have absolutely no clue what's coming next.
Yes, exactly. But let's do like a roundup. So Camino is done. We can assume that they're going to beat the Nomu and then that one will be done.
Yeah, and then those fighters can be brought to other fights. So.
Yes, exactly. So from Camino, counting Camino, we have also Sky High. We have the Toga fight, which we got no updates on. We don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, what the fuck is happening over there? Jesus Christ.
Maybe
it's like a lesbian sharing feelings circle. Like
I feel like
all sit down and hold hands and like
I would like that, but also no, that is not what's happening.
That's absolutely not what's happening, but God, I wish.
Yes. So the Toga fight is actually the only one we did not get an update on. So assuming
it might be next then.
Yeah, it's like assuming because we did not get much information on it, we may find out what's going on there next. Like,
oh God, I hope so.
I'm thinking they're going to do a round of fighting against AFO and then jump to hopefully the Toga fight. We also do not know where Deku is.
Yeah, Izuku is he still flying over the ocean?
He's still
where
flying.
Is this child?
He's still coming. He's still going as fast as he can. So
he's like, y'all calm down. I have to fly over the entirety of Japan. It's going to take me a second.
Yeah, it's going to take me a couple chapters. So the Toga fight and Deku are the only ones we did not get like real updates on. So Camino is done. The Gunga location, we can assume is going to be at least a focus of the next chapter. And then we have the Toga fight, which will hopefully also get an update. We have Sky High. And then we also have the 4 new fight locations.
Oh God, too many. This is too many.
Like one of them was one we already kind of knew was happening. It's the Fck Yuga one with the new plant guy. So we kind of knew that was still going on. And like we also knew Spinner was somewhere, but now we know where he is. He's at Kurogiri's location. And then we also have the fight at the arena, which I have no knowledge of what that one is.
Zero clue.
And then we also have Mina's fight, which is where Gigantomachia is. They're trying to break him out. So that is 7, 8 locations going at the same time.
Too many, Horikoshi.
Yeah. So
you have girl bossed too close to the sun.
I mean, I love it. I love all this input, but also I am a viewer, like especially in recent years where I've been consuming a lot of more complicated media like MHA. I have gotten to this place where, oh, it's a new place. Cool. Just add it to the list. I don't need to know all the details yet.
Yep. My little baby brain is just bouncing around from detail to detail. Like I'm absorbing none of this.
I'm absorbing what I can, but like if there's like smaller Easter eggs, especially for characters that I don't care about, nothing is coming in. Like I have no idea what the arena is supposed to mean. I am sad that President Mike is defending Kurogiri, but also man. I knew there was going to be some connection there. And I'm also happy that they're doing like a kind of wraparound back to midnight. I would like Momo to be there as well. So
yeah, I'm glad that, well, it was very upsetting when it got brought up, but I'm glad it did get brought up and it wasn't just like some kind of like, oh, we're just going to throw away this character now.
Yes, exactly. She was brought back in and because she is a meaningful character and she has left her marks on her pupils. And I hope that Mina gets her fucking revenge because that's going to be great.
Yes, get it, Mina.
All right. So we know that's where Gigantomachia is. I wonder if they're going to somehow bring,
what? Oh
Compress.
God, what?
Compress. You know how they knew so much more than we thought they knew going into this fight with AFO? What if Compress has switched sides?
Oh my God. I don't. Oh.
Because he's the only one of the league that we don't know.
Because they had to get info from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And we still haven't gotten confirmation from who. And we never really got confirmation, like exact confirmation about what happened to Compress.
Yeah, we don't know who Toshi's source is with all this information. Like they knew so much more than we thought they knew, which means somebody in the background with a lot of information was able to give them that. And I wonder if that's going to be Compress.
Oh my, that would be fascinating. I can't remember exactly where we left him or what his mindset was.
He, after the first war, he and Gigantomachia got kidnapped. He was hurt really bad. So
yeah, really bad.
He wasn't really able to defend himself. But it seemed, from what I remember, and this could be completely wrong, I will look it up while I'm doing the transcribing, but it seemed like he thought his role was over because he was so badly injured. He didn't think he was going to come back from it.
Yeah, he basically gave his death speech.
Yeah, and like did one big move to fight, but then it turns out he wasn't as badly injured as he thought, and he was taken in with Gigantomachia. It's not clear if he's like in the same location as Gigantomachia, but yeah, that could be the source that they've been getting it all.
Oh goodness, that would be a twist.
Yeah, it would be a twist, and I will just be screaming into the horizon if it turns out that I'm right, but I'm not going to hold my breath because I have thought things and been wrong before, which is fine. I like being surprised, but I also like being right. So we will see. All in all, we
no matter what, you win.
Yes. Also, honestly, the only way I'm going to lose is if anyone dies. But I mean, Burnin and Dabi are still alive. So like,
right? If they keep Burnin, but Toga dies, I'm going to be pissed. That'll be me losing.
Yes. Yes. I will somehow comfort you from across the country. But yeah, in some new chapter next week. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We can presume a few things, but it's kind of up in the air of where it's going to go next. So did I miss anything? Do you have anything else?
I think we have covered it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will once again be consumed with anticipation until next week.
Same. Thank God we don't have to wait longer. No. Thank you everyone for listening. You'll hear us again very soon. And in the meantime, go beyond plus ultra and catch the fuck up. Bye y'all.
Bye.